Hi, this is Barbara with Fanbase Press, and I'm here at San Diego Comic-Con 2016 with Matt Hawkins. Matt, thank you so much for chatting with me.
It's good to be here, as always.
Absolutely. We're very excited to see all that Top Cow has to offer this year, and we're starting with Think Tank on Volume 4, which is just released.
Right.
And this has been a really incredible and kind of personal story for you.
Yeah.
What can you share about your experience with it?
You know, I'm fascinated with depression and drugs people take for antidepressants and stuff like that. So I started doing a lot of research and realized how many people actually take these things, and there's sort of this stigma behind it. And I never really knew any of that. So I interviewed a lot of people, and then I sort of dealt with the main character and put him in a situation where he sort of had this depressive spiral. You know, I don't want to give away, but it ends in a kind of a dark way. With a bit of a cliffhanger, so no, it's just really interesting to deal with those sort of mental health issues.
Absolutely, and something very pressing at this time, very topical. And we've got Volume 5 coming out in February.
Correct.
Is that right? And that's going to take kind of a lighter tone, would you say?
No, I definitely 4 was dark, and it was a little depressing to read, but I think people will understand it. But 5 is definitely much lighter-hearted. As lighter-hearted as I can be, but it's about using animals as weapons. You know, the Russians right now are actually pioneering this better than anyone on the planet, which is fascinating to me. But they've been using birds and hardwiring into their brains certain things and using them as like attack birds. Because then I started thinking about this, like if you put a small amount of C4 around some bird's neck, because crows can do facial recognition.
Okay.
So you can kill anyone. President Obama, you can kill anyone just
with a bird.
With a bird.
Yeah.
Because who's going to stop a bird from flying down?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So bird sees something, targets it, flies it down, and it's really horses, pigs, dogs, and crows.
All with facial recognition.
All have facial recognition.
It's always fascinating talking with Matt Hawkins.
Who would have thought pigs, right?
Right.
You know, I mean, but pigs are actually one of the smartest animals on the planet.
Maybe that's why they make such good pets. I feel like people have a lot of pets that are pigs, and it just
Plus,
works out
they're
well.
very tasty.
There you go. Well, another book you have going on that's really sensational is Symmetry. Can you talk a little bit about that? You're going to do a lot of commentary with that one as well.
Yeah, that's. I haven't quite figured out what my social commentary is for that one, but it's sort of dealing with racial segregation, I would say, sort of the idea of what is a utopian society, would communism actually work, what do people do when jobs go away, you know, like how do people have value, sort of dealing with that in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and how would people change, or what would people do, you know, and so those kind of things. And then part of the exercise for Symmetry was to try to figure out, is it possible to even make a utopia? You know, and if you actually made a real utopia, what would you have to sacrifice to make it work? So I would actually completely rewrite that book and do it completely differently.
Really?
To what I did now, knowing what I know at this point in the junction, that book would not exist, and something completely different would be. But I learned a lot, and the process was fun. But a lot of that was the segregation came about because my sons go to these school in Culver City, which is very racially mixed. You know, and the kids after school all segregate themselves based on race.
Really?
So you go to the park to pick up the kids, all the white kids are over here, black kids over there, Asian kids over there, and it's really weird because I'm like looking at that and I'm like,
why is this happening? Yeah.
It's just they naturally congregate in little tribal groups, you know, and then like my sons are half Asian, half white, so they like one of them hangs out with black kids, the other one hangs out with the Asian kids, and I'm like they just sort of picked a group. You know what I mean? Exactly. So it's really kind of crazy, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, we've got another series that I definitely want to talk about, which is Swing.
Okay.
Working with Linda Sedgwick and Jenny as well. So what can we tell viewers about this series?
Swing is essentially exists because of Sunstone's success. I mean, Sunstone we have so many people that come up and, oh, I love this book, it's the greatest thing ever, what do you have like this? And I look around at our line and I'm like, we have nothing, you know. And so I started working with Linda and developing a thing about a couple that had been married for a long time. They got together when she got pregnant when she was a freshman in college. They've been together ever since. And they're trying to regain that spark after being married for 10, 15 years. So they started experimenting with swinging with other partners and kind of some craziness. And the research I've been doing on that's been quite fascinating, actually.
I can imagine.
There's an entire world that I didn't even know existed. And when I announced that I was doing this book, I was shocked at the people that came out of the woodwork that I know.
In support?
No, just saying, I'd be happy. I do this. I'd be happy to talk to you. And I'm like gobsmacked by some of them. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm like, I've interviewed them all, and I asked them about their experiences and some of the stuff, and it's this whole subculture. And see, what it is with Sunstone, it touched a subculture that people, it's got a little bit of a kink to it.
Okay.
But I think the key to it is the people that do it they don't want to feel bad about it.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like S&M and this sort of thing. They do this thing. It's acceptable to them and their partner.
Yeah.
They're into it. There's no cheating involved because everyone knows what's going on and they're enjoying themselves. And it might not be for everyone, you know, but
there's definitely a sex positivity to it.
yes, there's a sex positivity. And what I've discovered about a lot of the S&M and the swinging stuff, it's really driven by women. You know, because what I've discovered most of the time that you look at these swinging websites and dating sites, a lot of it's almost all the women that are on these that are finding the people to play around with, whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's So it's interesting.
Yes. Well, we look forward to this series very much.
I am trying really hard to launch that on Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
That week.
Okay.
Whether Linda can get it done in time, I don't know. We'll see.
You can't rush genius. We don't want to do that.
So.
Yes. Well, you have a panel coming up this Saturday in room number 9 at 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Any secrets, anything you can divulge at this point in time?
There's nothing really that we haven't announced that we're announcing here that's like this big announcement.
Yeah.
But you know, we set up Rising Stars, one of the old Top Gun properties to film, so that's being made, and just a series of new projects that we're working on with various people. But I don't think there's any sort of massive new announcement.
Okay.
You know, I think part of the problem is now we're doing 12, 15 of these shows a year.
Yeah.
So we used to save all our announcements for Comic-Con, but now we sort of spread them out. You know, and like New York Comic-Con, we'll have a couple big announcements in New York.
Okay, excellent. Well, Matt, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Good to talk to you as well.
Absolutely. And this is Barbara once again at San Diego Comic-Con. You can find more interviews like this one and more San Diego Comic-Con coverage at fanbasepress.com.